Wow. Look at the solid wall. And the lodge way back behind there. I don't know what the housing arrangements are between the beaver and the muskrat. The muskrat seems to live under here, in there. So where do the beavers live? Maybe they live out somewhere out there. Jesus, look at the low water there. That was 8 to 10 inches higher, the water was. So look, think how far back it went. Same with there. I am so glad I had the presence of mind a month ago to bring a can of insect repellent down here. Savior. I mentioned the mosquitoes were out. Last time I was down here, they were too. I didn't want to stay long enough to douse myself. But it's incredible mosquito repellent. You get a little on your face, your neck, the back of your neck, wherever, and boom, they leave you alone. It's like you are invisible. That was a commercial, I think Off, I don't know which one, I think it was Off, had a few years ago. You're invisible to mosquitoes, and they instantly quit harassing me, hassling me, irritating me, following me, being impolite to me. First time we've come down here for an evening after Suki's dinner in a week or 10 days. Mainly because of the horse flies, or the deer flies, which, by the way, there were a few this afternoon. Just now I went out and mowed, did 45 minutes of work around the Ponderosa. Suki was out with me, and I realized when we went to come in the house, my normal routine is to stop her on the deck and feel her up, ears mainly. And there's usually a half a dozen lodged in her ears or on her back, in her head. And then we bring a couple in with us usually. But today there was nothing. None of them. Oh my gosh, what a joy, what a joy. Another milestone in our summer. Although now I'm talking like that and Suki's laying over there, I just heard her shake her head. Maybe she's disagreeing with something I said. That's probably it. What do the turtles and frogs do when the water runs out? I'm sure this is not the first time in history that might happen. There's a heron hiding somewhere over there. I was photographing something off to my right, squatting, and I heard a roar, looked off to my left, and it was just coming in for a landing. Would love to have seen it 30 seconds earlier and gotten the camera on it. Such is the life. I have a suspicion that great blue heron I saw fly in is a return of the bittern. I haven't heard him for 2 or 3 weeks now. I used to hear him every morning, and he's been silent or away. I got up, I was going to go back to the house, and I began hearing a very low root, not that frequent, but just very faint, and that's the sound the bittern makes. See, the bird that I saw fly in was tan and brownish. I saw just a flash of him, but herons are bluish gray, so that was not a heron. My second thought was there was a sandhill, but bitterns are that same coloration. Wouldn't that be neat if that was the bittern returning? She just can't stand going past the game trail on our way home. She took off tearing up the trail, got halfway up and turned around and looked at me. Well, like usual, her appeal, "Hey, we're going this way. Come on, follow me. Don't ask questions." Being out here in the evening like this, since I decided not to mow anything, and the sound just walking along, sound of bees humming along among the clover. Out by the septic holding tanks, I noticed a few days ago, brown-eyed Susans are coming up from nothing. I didn't do anything to make them be there. The intelligence of the natural world is being allowed to take over and do what it knows how to do a hell of a lot better than I do. I can't make a brown-eyed Susan. Or those. Like Louis Armstrong sang, "It's a wonderful world." It's really been a source of magnificent excitement when I decided just to let things grow. And if nothing else, that's one of the serendipitous things that came out of this drought. When I said, well, really, there's nothing to mow out here except weeds and sand, so don't mow it. And look what's happening. I'd say this is vast. Do you hear the bees? It's a continuous underlying hum. Mullen. In a few weeks, it's going to be twice as tall, with a tall, slender stalk of yellow flowers. Well, I don't think this thing is going to focus. I love these. It looks like eyes looking at me. There they are. A red start flew up right down across the path in front of me. And very typically for a red start, they're foraging around no more than 24 inches above ground. Oh, red start, finally. I saw one or two earlier in the season. Hadn't seen any since then. They're such jolly, happy fellows. Well, there are deer flies. They're not intolerable until they land on my cheek of my face. Cloudless sky. Classic summer day. Thistle is beginning to bloom. Bugs on you. I made the decision in the last 24 hours to stop with the POV feature on episodes of Life on the Bog. I think it's run its course. I've got maybe a dozen more YouTube shows. I don't know what the word is. YouTube features, YouTube presentations, YouTube vlogs picked out. But everything comes to an end, and I'm at an end with it. I'm tired of doing it. And I've gotten no feedback from any of my patrons, my viewers. Get off of me one way or another, so to heck with them. It was fun while it lasted. I've been doing this since, well, I'll say January. It might have begun a little bit earlier, like sometime in December. I think that's when I began looking for content to use there. But it takes significantly more time to do each episode for me. And I'm still, well, I'm working on the end of April right now, April 28th. May, June. I'm 2.5 months behind yet. I can't seem to get any further ahead than that. Deer flies aren't bothering Suki at all. She lives a charmed life. Okay. Looking around for where the camera is. Jeez. I was awakened at 2:30 this morning by a series of shotgun blasts. 12 to 15 from the same neighbor a quarter mile down at the crossroads. He's been doing this almost every day now for the last 4 or 5 days, but it's been in the daytime. Very unsettling, and he's close enough where Jesus God, it's loud. It's It's a violence in my midst, a disturbance, a very unsettling disturbance. And then when it happened in the middle of the night, and I was brought awake by that, looked at the clock, 2:32. Oh my God. And they were so rapid. Well, he starts off with 3 or 4 a second or so apart. And then he finishes his grand finale with bam, 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 and that's faster than any semi-automatic whatever. He's got to have a bump stock. I don't know if bump stocks work on shotguns or not. I don't know how any of this works. Nonetheless, I do know how dreadfully threatening it feels. Into every paradise there must be a turd shat out into the punch bowl. I'm used to it now, not just him, but that there are unpleasant things. This is not paradise or Pollyanna land. This is a wonderful refuge, but there are interferences that are frightening. I'm not concerned about him shooting me, although there has to be alcohol involved at 2:30 in the morning when he goes outside and fires off like that. Oh, come on. This is one of those things, the more you see, the more you see. Like this one. I've learned a trick. Keep these things closed as you go in, and then open them and clip. Keeps you from cutting the wrong ones. But this has added a whole new world of flowers. Talk about sticky. Oh my gosh. This would put some of 3M's adhesives to shame. It's not a terrible shame if you cut one that's not expired yet, but there are so many out here that isn't like you're gonna miss one. There's a good, that guy. He's been dead for a week or 2. And snapdragons, you don't do with those what I'm doing to these little guys. They grow seed heads, seed pods. After they're done blossoming, get these round little seed pods. And you take those off, cut them off or pinch them off. Don't F with the gophers. Last night I brought the wheelbarrow out here. You can see all the gopher piles. And I removed this pile with not a little effort. I don't want it right in the middle of my path. Do your pile over there. Over there. Not in my path. Well, to hell with me, they said. And it still flabbergasts me. I've never seen a single gopher on this property. I've seen chipmunks, red squirrels, Perhaps I've mistaken a gopher for a red squirrel, huh? Yeah, I removed most of that one. They haven't come back for that, but this one's new overnight. And I'm really curious what these are. And there's a lot of them. Well, isn't this nice? This is the second entrance to the Appaloosa Terrace. Grass seed I threw out here the day I finished with it. Well, this is more than I expected. That's good. I'm hesitating as to what to say about this mess. If it is a mess or if it's exactly what I wanted. I want everything to get established here before I come in with the mower. But the longer I wait, the more difficult it will be to mow and leave a bigger mess. And then, per my discussion a couple days ago about my change in plans for making a wildflower meadow up there and down here, this is where I was going to mow it back, just make it into a nice patio. But I hate to mow this all down like I'm talking about and then decide, well, I didn't want to do that. Just like up in the yard, I have changed my mind about mowing up there. So, do I make the single path coming down through here and all the way down to there, and then mow out a little bit of an area in front of the bench? I may do that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And this is very happy. Well, this isn't, but this is the little oak that got severely frost-bitten. And look at all the new leaves it's put out. Good, good, good.